Hey there guys, it's your girl Tinesha and welcome back to my channel Tinesha W. Like always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You know I will love you guys forever. So I apologize because honestly I almost forgot about this video. I forgot about making the video, so I'm sorry. Never too late, right? So this video is going to be an update about life after COVID, what I went through after recovering, the process, the months, the weeks, and yeah, just what I went through. There were definitely a lot of ups, there were a lot of downs, there were a lot of standstills, a lot of mental challenges, and I'm here to talk about it. Hopefully I can help somebody. I will say that not everybody's COVID journey is the same. Some people have positive outcomes, some people have negative, but I'm here to share with you my outcomes and what I went through. So this video might be pretty long, so grab some popcorn, chill out, relax, because I got a lot to say, okay? So I got my trusty notebook here with all my, life bringings for you guys. So we'll just start off with when I got released from my quarantine prison because I was in my room for like almost 3 weeks, to be honest. So I think I got the test done on July 14th of 2020, and I guess they want you to stay quarantined 2 weeks from the time you got the test done, and I was already down here to begin with prior to that. So I was released from my quarantine prison on July 28th. So prior to me being released from quarantine, I made a plan of what I was going to do to disinfect this area that I was living in, because I'm in the basement part of the house, and it's a living quarters and it's a bedroom and a bathroom. So I had to plan to disinfect the entire area. So I opened the windows, I washed everything that was like cloth material within the room. Yeah, so I had to wash all my stuffed animals that I laid on, because I had this really big teddy bear that I just lay on, and I had to wash that. Like, I was surprised it even fit in the machine, but it worked. And I had to wash my pillows, my sheets, everything. Clothes I had lingering that were new, that were just in the room, I still had to wash them. And I just kept airing out the area day and night. Well, not day and night. Well, I would say whatever is like day. I would air out the area for about a week or so. And luckily it was summer, so it was okay to keep the windows open. So, fingers crossed. Thumbs up for that. So that same week, I was out with friends and family. I went places outside and obviously social distancing. So that was pretty nice to be outdoors again, because I was cramped up in the summertime, the middle of July to be exact, the hottest time of the year, inside my damn room during quarantine. So it was kind of nerve-wracking. Surprisingly, my friends were okay with hanging out with me. There was no issues in that aspect. I was surprised. Like, I thought everybody was gonna look at me sideways, like I was like a bug or something, because like COVID. But they were cool with it. My family were cool with it. So guess I had nothing to worry about. But like, obviously it's something to worry about, like when you had it. So, because I read that some people would have it for longer than 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. Luckily for me, it was only 2 weeks, and I made sure with my doctor that it was okay for me to go around everybody prior to leaving the room. And I said in my last video that I had the Ministry of Health of Ontario call me and explain to me what I was supposed to do and when I was supposed to leave out of quarantine. So I just followed their orders, and they got back to me after the fact. They wanted to know how everything was and if I left the room already, and I was like, yeah, I did. So it was cool that they checked up on me. And I guess if you wanted like more like mental health like relief, they could like provide it, but I didn't need it or felt that I needed, so I just declined their services and went on with my life. So although I was free of the virus, there was some lingering side effects that I was still experiencing, and one of those things was stomach pain. I had stomach pain in the top, I'm trying to like say the top part right here and the center of my stomach, and it could have been acid related is what my doctor was saying, because I am somebody that suffers from acid reflux. But like, it depends on what I eat. I would have to eat something crazy or spicy that's like unnecessary for me to experience that. But I had those symptoms lingering for about 3 to 4 weeks after the fact, and they were severe to light. It was all over the place. And I also had lower abdominal pain, also on the left lower side to be exact. I forgot what that part is called. Like, there's a thing for it, but it's also linked to like acid reflux and GERD and stuff. So that was one of the annoying things. I also was very like sensitive to food. I couldn't eat the way I used to, so I was dairy sensitive, I was caffeine sensitive, sweet sensitive, acid sensitive. So like no tomatoes, no chocolate, no ice cream. I kept a diary to track what I was eating and what every food made me feel. And honestly, everything annoyed me. So then my doctor finally gave me like pills for like extreme acid reflux, I guess GERD pills. I forgot the name of the pills, but they're like, oh yeah, they're antacids. So I had a lower dose of it and I started taking them, and eventually all the symptoms and the pain went away, thank God. So that was good. But I found that like I was really dependent on those pills for a while. Like I would take them for a few days and then I would stop it because I don't like to be dependent on pills, because I had a negative experience in the past when it came to pills and a previous doctor. So I was very careful in that aspect. So I was finding that I was very dependent on these pills, and I explained to my doctor about it, and she was like, they're okay, you can take these pills, and was like looking at her sideways through the phone, that is, because like I'm not seeing her. But I decided to just change up my eating habits, to be honest. So I just dropped out the dairy, I dropped out the caffeine, the chocolate, the spice, the acid. I ate plainly for the next month. Like I ate oatmeal in the morning with honey. I made fruit smoothies with ginger. I ate plain bread with a little bit of butter. And I would sometimes eat dinner. So like honestly, I already lost weight because of the virus. And then I don't think I lost any more weight because I wasn't working out. I was just maintaining the weight that I was at. So that was one of the weird side effects that I had. I will say that eventually it did go away completely. Like that was really weird. Like I remember one day it wasn't even because I was eating a certain way, because I think I started to regain my appetite again, because I also wasn't hungry. So I was able to regain my appetite and slowly start to eat what I used to eat, and everything was fine. I wasn't having any reactions, and it was just kind of weird that my stomach just kind of went back to the way it was. Honestly though, I read on Reddit, because Reddit was my best friend at the time, that like a lot of people had like the same issues that I had, because they also had like acid reflux prior to having COVID. And they said that the virus pretty much amplifies something that you already had prior to. So if you have depression and anxiety, it would amplify it. If you have acid reflux and heartburn, it would amplify it. If you have headaches, it would amplify it. So in my case, I had acid reflux, so that's what was amplified. So the next lingering issue I had after COVID was I had relapses when I tried to work out. So I don't even know why I did this, to be honest, now that I think about it. So I think it was like a week or 2 weeks after I recovered, or I came out of quarantine, I decided, okay, let me try to work out again like an idiot, because honestly that was stupid now I think about it. And I wasn't doing anything hard. I was just walking in my basement because I didn't want to go outside. I was still looking at outside like it was the devil, to be honest, because I didn't trust it. So I just stayed inside for the most part. So I was just pacing back and forth in my basement. I planned to do a 30-minute walk, and I made it to about 20 minutes. And then I noticed that like my chest area was like tightening. I thought it was because like, I guess the costochondritis pain, because I have costochondritis, so sometimes the left side of my chest would ache up. But that usually depends on what I'm doing. If it's strength related, like if I'm doing push-ups or supporting my entire body weight on my hands or something, and I wasn't doing that, I was just walking. But then it just felt like it was contracting in my chest, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it just felt foreign. Like, it felt weird. And I also felt it in my back, directly behind my back. And then I started to feel like I needed to go to the washroom. So I slowed down my pace. I still kept walking, but I slowed down my pace and I made it to 30 minutes. But then I felt like crap after the walk. And then I had like random symptoms of diarrhea, and I just felt like I had COVID again, to be honest. But I didn't have it. So I took that as a symptom to like sit myself down and not do nothing. And I called my doctor the next day and I complained because what the hell? Like, why am I still experiencing these symptoms? Like, it was like a flashback to like the dark side of when I had COVID and I was trapped in the basement. I'm like, oh my God, do I have COVID again? What's happening? And she was like, calm your nerves, slow your roll. And I told her how I was walking for 20 minutes. And she was like, first of all, the fact that you made it to 20 minutes while walking after having COVID is surprising enough, because she kind of said like I had to treat myself kind of like a cancer patient, not really like a cancer specifically, but like a patient that was sick, because she was saying how the virus attacks your entire body, your lungs, your organs, your heart, everything, and you gotta let everything rebuild and repair. So I'm like, okay. And then she told me not to work out for like 2 to 3 months. So yeah. She did say that since I made it to 20 minutes, that it just means that my body needs time to get back to the way it was. Because like I said in the previous video, I was walking for 2 to 3 hours hiking outside in the wilderness before COVID. I was playing Just Dance for 1 to 2 hours. I was able to jump around, do whatever the hell I wanted to prior to having COVID. And it was like after the fact, that was all stripped away from me and I had to start from the bottom of the barrel when I was able to. Okay, so since I had to not do anything for the next 2 months or so, I decided to try to get back into what I was doing before that interests me. Because to be honest, when I was in quarantine, I wasn't in the mood to watch the things I normally did because I was in a panic state while I was in quarantine for the first week or so. And nothing was like, I couldn't watch what I loved. I didn't want to watch what I loved. I was just not interested or motivated, to be honest. I will say that after the fact, I slowly started to get back into what I was reading before. Started reading manga because I like a visual representation of what I'm reading, and it took my mind off of what I was going through. And I started watching the shows I liked again. I started picking up into anime, focusing on YouTube again. Because I don't know if you guys know, I was still putting out videos even though I was sick with COVID. Luckily, before I had the virus, I made like 3 to 4 videos and I kept pushing those out while I was recovering. So I was able to start recording again after the fact. And I think the first video I recorded was the one about the kissing booth too, because I think that's the time it came out. Yeah, I think that's what I did. So you can see in that video I was pretty lively. I was okay. It was just that like I wasn't able to move the way that I used to. I couldn't just run up the stairs. I couldn't just bust a sprint, jump around and stuff. Like I had to be very cautious of what I was doing, and that was kind of like annoying, but like it was for my own good. Also, when I did go out to like get like my necessities and I planned to make multiple stops, I couldn't always do it because like I would start walking and then like I guess my limit at the time was maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes depending on the time. Like I was only able to walk 15 to 20 minutes at a time before I started feeling the same chest pains. Like even though it wasn't like as drastic as it was before, it was still like annoying and I just felt fatigued, and it was a really odd feeling, to be honest. So I would still go out, but like I didn't like how I was feeling. It was like I would go out and I'll feel okay for the first 10 minutes and then I would take a break. So to be honest, when I did go out, I would just start planning in advance where I was going, how far everything was. Like if I was going to a mall, for example, I wouldn't park where I normally would park. I would park to that closest to the area where that store that I'm going to is, rather than walking the length of the mall, because I was trying to avoid walking more than I needed to if that makes sense. And I think that probably lasted maybe about a month before those odd symptoms went away. And I think around that time I got into TikTok. Like, I wasn't even on TikTok. I started getting into TikTok maybe mid-September, and I was starting to make TikTok videos at home, but like the dancing ones to be exact. And like, I couldn't go like fully into it. I had to like make sure I wasn't exerting myself, because doing too much would also again cause the chest pain and the fatigue, and I just had to be very careful. So yeah, I didn't exactly listen to my doctor now that I think about it. She told me to sit down and I went on TikTok, so don't do what I did. Okay, so I would say like after a month or so, I was living on Reddit. I was asking questions, reading people's information based on what they went through. Some people said that they they just bounced back right away after COVID. They were their old selves. Cool. Some people said that they had lingering symptoms and they weren't the same that they were prior to. So they had lingering symptoms 3 to 6 months after the fact. And that was pretty devastating to read, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have been reading that, but like, I also had to keep in mind that my life is not their life, so I shouldn't be reading what they're going through. Yes, it helped, but I have to be wary of what it is I'm going to do to make sure that my day-to-day lifestyle is going to be okay, if that makes sense. That's honestly where distractions came into play. Like, I had friends that reached out to me, made sure that I was okay. I just tried to focus on my distractions, like I said, to get through it, and I would say that eventually I did pull through it. I think it took about maybe a month and a half to get to an okay place where I was starting to feel like myself again. No negative symptoms, no doubtful thoughts. Like, I felt like I had strength in me to do stuff, but I didn't want to push it because I wanted to wait till the 2-month mark at least before I did anything. So in late September, like I was saying, I was starting to feel like myself again. I started applying for jobs because I felt like I was able to work and to get back into a normal lifestyle. And in October, I decided to start my fitness journey again. Not really for like weight loss purposes, but more like just to like get moving, to do something again. Honestly, when I started, because I found something that would work for me, it was really, really, really difficult. Because I stopped working out in the past for like 2 to 3 months at a time before. And I would just go back to what I was doing. I would just bounce back into Zumba, weightlifting, and just keep it pushing. And eventually I would be back where I was. But this time I couldn't do that. Like, I really had to start from down there, all the way down there, and work my way up. So, because like my doctor said, COVID attacks your entire body. It attacks your muscles, your heart, your lungs, your brain, everything. I'm not sure about your brain, but it attacks everything based on what she told me. Okay, I'm not a medical doctor. You probably should take my advice, but it attacks a lot of aspects of your body, okay? And I had to be mindful of that. So everything I did, I took my time. I made sure not to rush it, not to do anything that I did before out of habit. And it was really hard in the beginning, but I will say that it was getting easier. It did get easier. I was able to increase my endurance, my stamina. I was able to play my Just Dance games again, even though it was hard at first. And I was able to walk long distances. So for me, everything did work out for the better, I would say. So now we're in December. Yeah, this is December 1st. This will probably be up tomorrow, December 2nd. And I will say, to be honest, that I feel like I am my old self again in terms of endurance and stamina when it comes to things like Just Dance and walking. Like, if you were to ask me to go hiking right now, I would be like, yes, let's do it, because I can actually do it. I can walk for 2 to 3 hours. I can dance for 2 to 3 hours. I can do whatever I used to do before. When it comes to strength training, not so much. I started strength training again, and I am weak, like extremely weak. My arms have no muscles. My legs are still pretty strong. It just takes more effort. So that needs some work. But I would say that like where I'm at right now, I would say I'm in a good place and that there is hope. Like I'm grateful. Like this virus took me through an experience, and even after the fact, it was another experience. I got to really just sit down and just like get to know myself, know what worked for me, what didn't work for me. All you really need to do, honestly, is just listen to your body and what it needs to get through what it needs to. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that like the stomach issues went away completely. My fitness levels came back the way it was. The mental anxiety and depression that lingered, doubt went away. And it took about, honestly, 3 months after the fact to get back to where I was completely, both physically and mentally. So I am 1001% grateful for that. I am blessed for that. And I thank God that I was able to beat it, to be honest. I know that not everybody's journey is the same. Some people, like I said, had negative impacts. Some people had positive impacts. But if you're going through this and you're going through the after stage, just remember to focus on you and your goals and what you can do. Take it one day at a time. And remember that nobody's journey is going to help you. Just your own journey will help you. I don't think I have anything else to say, to be honest. So I'm going to close this video because I don't want to be like super long. So if this helped you, you're welcome. If you just wanted to listen, that's cool too. And yeah, I'm gonna cut my video now. So take care, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and take care. Deuces.